Welcome to Hips Don't Lie. This is a super hot topic at my studio because oftentimes we carry a lot of stress in our hips, and that causes our hips to feel very tight, but sometimes it's also weakness. So we are going to address both of those things in this video. You don't need anything except for a mat, so let's go ahead and lie down. So we're going to start in a neutral spine position. So that means that I want your ribs and hips in alignment. So you're going to avoid rib thrusting. So if you can slide your hand under your ribs, it's too high. If you can slide your hands fully underneath of your mid to low back area, you're probably also just arching in some way. You don't want to be able to completely slide under, but you do want to go along with the natural curvature of your spine. If you have pain in your lower back, you can flatten out your lower back, but I want that coming from you actually engaging your core, not just by squeezing your glutes. We are going to start with internal knee drops. So you are going to widen your knees and your feet as much as you can. Place your hands on your hips. On an exhale, you're going to drop your right knee down towards your left heel. You're going to anchor this left heel down into the ground. You're going to inhale, return that leg. You're going to exhale, alternate sides. We're going to do 10 of these. Now, you're going to try to avoid rotating the hip. That's why you've got your hands here, so you can try not to roll. You're going to really use your inner thigh to pull that leg down. So this should not feel passive and easy. You're working for the stretch by, again, engaging that inner thigh and really using your core strength to help you achieve that, so that we're also getting this awesome stretch on the outside of the leg. Inhale laterally into the ribs as you return the leg. Exhale, let's drop that left knee down. Again, we're trying to keep the opposite leg still. So I'm going to anchor that foot down into the ground as I move. As you inhale, you can send that breath laterally into the diaphragm, but also try to fill up the back of the rib cage with that breath. And then as you exhale, I want you to imagine blowing out through a very long straw to really connect deeply into your core. So we'll get deeper into that briefly or momentarily. Let's do 3 more here. It's really hard not to move those hips, but that is the goal. So a lot of people want to roll. Your goal is to anchor that hip down into the mat. So you're working for this stretch. And inhale, return the leg. Okay, now we're going to do the complete opposite. So you're going to bring your knees and feet together. We're going to drop our right knee out to the side, contracting that glute as we open out. You're only going to go as far as you can. You're going to anchor the left hip down now. So we're opening up that inner thigh and into the pelvis. Inhale, return the leg. And again, exhale, go ahead, drop that left leg. The goal is to keep the opposite leg still. So I want you pressing that right foot down into the ground. Maybe find some glutes and hamstrings through that press. Inhale, return. And let's exhale, switch. Inhale, return, and exhale, switch. Halfway there. When you do your exhale, I want you to think about closing the space between your pubic bone and your sits or your tailbone. Okay, so you're going to imagine closing that space together and then continuing to draw that exhale up all the way up to the rib cage. So through that exhale, you feel this deep compression through your core. And that is intra-abdominal pressure management. So that's how you just really focus on working to engage your entire core. So starting in the pelvic floor, and then it goes into your transverse abdominis. So now, of course, I've lost count because as you could see, I was trying to use my fingers and I stopped doing that. So we're going to do 1 more. And again, trying to manage the hips, so anti-rotation in those hips, and come back to the center. Right from here, we're going to go into single knee stretch. So we're going to really start to focus more into the core here. So you're going to lengthen through the crown of the head, draw your shoulder blades down without arching your ribs. Bend your right knee into tabletop. On an exhale, really concentrate deeper on getting into that core contraction. And as you pick up the other leg, nothing should have shifted or moved through your torso, okay? So now on another exhale, you're going to bow forwards into a curl. So I want you to feel the rib cage pull together. When the rib cage pulls together, that is your cue to lift. So you should not feel this in your neck. Imagine holding a tangerine between your chin and chest. You're going to pull your right knee in without rounding the spine too hard. You're focusing more on lifting up and over the ribs and hips. You're going to bring your right hand to your ankle, left hand is to your knee. Pull that knee in and gently pull the ankle out to the side. Inhale and exhale, switch. Inhale and exhale, switch. We're going to do 4 and 3 and 2 and 1 and rest. Right from here, we're going to go into a single straight leg stretch. So building off of what we were just doing with a straight leg. Bend one knee at a time, back into tabletop. You're going to straighten out your right leg up towards the ceiling, extend that left leg out and let it hover just a few inches off of the ground. On your exhale, bow forwards into your curl. Reach as high on your leg as you can. I want you to pause here for a second. If you are pulling from your neck and shoulders, I want you to get out of that. You are using your core to stay lifted. And if it's just too much to reach for your leg, bend the knee and grab behind your knee. I'd rather you do that than be in this position and into that neck and shoulders. So you're going to pull the leg in using the biceps. And again, getting deeper into the core to do that. Inhale, sip of air in through the ribs, and exhale, switch. And we're just going to scissor the legs. We're going for 10 of these. 4, 3, 2, and 1, and rest. It's pretty quick through it, but you should not feel that in your neck. The goal is, again, obviously, to be in your core. So now we're going to go into single leg circles. Straighten out your left leg, flex that foot, push the leg down into the ground. Lift up, pay attention to your toes. If you're internally or externally rotated, I want you to get the toes pointed straight up towards the ceiling. You're going to reach your arms out to about 45 degrees, and you're going to press your shoulder blades wide into the mat. So we're going to use our back here to help us stabilize. You're going to extend your right leg straight up towards the ceiling, and on an exhale, so take a sip of air in through your nose, you're going to draw a large circle through the hip and pause at the top. We're going to do 3 of those circles in each direction. Sip of air, exhale, draw that circle. 1 more in this direction. The goal is you are using your entire body, let's reverse it, to stabilize through that aggressive leg movement. Now, 1 more in this direction. Switch legs, press that right foot down into the ground, reach the left leg up. If you find, go ahead and start, that one hip is like rolling, I should say, you hear something like thumping in your hip, I want you to see if you can contract your glutes, reverse the direction, and your core a little bit tighter and prevent that clunk. And rest. Right from here, we are going to go into a bridge. So you're going to bend your knees, bring your feet flat. We're going to find hip distance apart. So to find that, bring your feet completely together, turn your toes out, bring your heels in line with your toes, and that should be your hip distance. You're going to bring your hands down by your sides, lengthen through the crown of the neck. On an exhale, or thrust through the crown of the head. On an exhale, we're going to use our pelvic floor to tuck the tailbone. I want you to start with that. So release everything again. I don't want you clenching your butt from the start to get into that bridge, okay? Utilizing your breathing and your pelvic floor is going to get you deeper into your glutes, trust me. So inhale through your nose. Exhale, find that zipper. How are your glutes? Are they kind of relaxed? They should be. Now, start to lift, but I want you peeling up 1 vertebrae at a time. Keep your ribs lower than your hips for now. We'll get into a high bridge later. But for now, if you keep this curl and this tuck, you should feel a ton of glutes, okay? Now you're going to roll back down, press 1 vertebrae, articulating your spine back down out of this, and just release. You can go into a little extension if that feels good. Inhale and exhale. Let's do that again. We're using spinal movement to find the glutes and that lift. Again, roll down one vertebrae at a time. And if you're like this, draw those shoulders down. Okay, let's talk about the feet. So exhale, you keep moving. Push your feet down hard into the mat. Okay, use that. If you feel that one of your toes is lifting, especially a big toe, I need you to push it down. So you're anchoring your feet down into the floor like a tripod. Push your big toe, little toe, heel. You've got weight there. That's going to help you in your squats and your deadlifts. Roll back down one vertebrae at a time. We're going to do two more, and we're going to hold the last one up. So this should be very intense, that you don't want to do too many, okay? We're not getting like a huge workout here through the glutes just yet. But again, you should feel a lot of connection there, okay? And that's what this is all about. So you're going to lift and hold and make sure those ribs are lower than your hips. You're kind of in the seeker position with your spine. Now, bring your hands back on your hips. Drop your right hip down. Keep that left hip up. That left glute is working really hard to hold this. You're going to open up the hips this way. Press through the right glute. Return that hip. Drop that left glute down. Right glute is really fired. Bring that left hip back up. Keep alternating. We've got 10. Take note of your toes. If they start to want to lift, you've got to press them down. Your big toe is directly connected into your pelvic floor and into your glutes. Your glutes are part of your pelvic floor. We're going to do 4 more if my count is right. Here we go. 4. And again, your glutes should be on fire here. 3, if they're not, reassess your form. And 2, and we're going to do 1 more. Drop that right hip, lift it back up, hold it, hold it, hold it. 4, 3, 2, 1. Everything is lengthened. You're not holding tension in your arms or your neck. Roll back down 1 vertebrae at a time. Those glutes should be on fire. Right from here, we are going to turn. You're going to go into side lying series. So you've got 3 options. If you are just starting out, you can rest your head all the way down. If you would like to go into a more intermediate position, you're going to come up into this like half plank position. Advanced, you're going to go into elbow to elbow, kind of like you're doing a crunch. Just watch the rib thrust. You could see I really wanted to do that. You can bend your knee, or for a more difficult position, have the leg straight, and it's going to be kicked slightly out in front of you to find some balance. We're going to externally rotate that top leg. You're going to point the toes, reach the leg up as high as you can without caving down into that bottom side. It's really working to stay lifted. We're going to flex the foot, drop it back down. You're going to inhale up. You're going to exhale, squeeze to come down. Inhale up. Exhale, squeeze to come down. Inhale up. Exhale, squeeze to come down. We're going to do 2 more here. Stay here. Turn that foot forward. Stay lifted. Check in with yourself. We're going to do 6 big circles, 3 in each direction. So you're going to take a sip of air in through your nose. Just like we did lying down, it's aggressive and quick, and your core is stopping you from moving all around. Squeeze the legs together at the end. Squeeze, reverse. Find some glutes on that backwards motion. 1 more here. As you can see, I'm not so good at that. All right, now lift that top leg up. We're going to do front kick, back kick. Reassess your form. You're going to inhale, bring your leg as far forward as you can, keeping that leg straight. You're going to exhale, point the toes, go back, find that glute without going into this big extension. Inhale forwards, exhale back. Inhale forwards, exhale back. Now the goal is obviously to go as quickly as you can and to help everything stay stable by utilizing all of your muscles. Last one, and rest. We're going to turn and switch sides. So find whichever arm position you liked best. And 6 leg lifts. Externally rotate that top leg first. Point the toes. Here we go. Inhale up, exhale down, squeeze. Inhale up, flex the foot, come down. Point the toes up, flex, come down. 3 more. 1 more here. Beautiful. 3 circles each direction. Keep that bottom oblique engaged. Squeeze the inner thighs. 1 more here. reverse it. Find some more glutes. You are working hard through the core to keep everything from moving all around. Front kick, back kick. We have 6. Inhale and exhale. Press that bottom leg into the mat. Again, your whole body is working here, not just the glutes. And I lost track, so we're going to do one more. Here we go. Inhale and exhale and rest. Right from here, we're going to go into a side plank. So let's stay on this side. You've got plenty of options with the side plank. You can do knees, you can do staggered feet, and you can do stacked feet, okay? So we're going to lift up, and everybody is going to hold it. Hold it here, hold it here. Hold it, hold it. You can do whatever you want with this top arm. You can reach it up. You can have it on your hips. Just hold. Watch that neck. I don't want to hear doing something funny. Try to keep it aligned with your spine. Now, if you can, we're going to continue moving. If you need a break, you take a break. You're going to drop the hips down and just feel a little bit of a stretch in that bottom oblique, and you're going to lift back up. You are going to drop the hips down and inhale. Lift back up as high as you can. Drop down, inhale, lift back up. Keep going. Push away constantly with that bottom elbow so you're not falling into your neck and shoulders. You're going to do 2 more. Last one. And come down. We're going to take a quick break. Take a nice deep breath in. Right from here, we're going to go into star. So you've got 2 options, basically. You can be down on your knee and just lift that top leg up. Again, try to avoid rib thrust. I'm doing it all the time today, apparently. Hardest option is keeping that bottom leg straight and lifting. So we're just going to go for it. We're going to try to hold this for 10 seconds. So everybody take a deep breath in. Exhale, lift that top leg. Hold 10, 9, constantly pushing away from the floor, from that mat. 5, 4, 3, 2, and rest. We're going to switch sides, do the exact same thing on that opposite side. So find your preferred side plank position and just hold. Okay, now try to feel aligned through your spine in this position. So the bottom glute is obviously working to hold you up, and you've kind of got those glutes active to push forwards, okay? So they're not bent back behind you and hanging out. We are nice and aligned. Hold it, hold it, hold it. We are going to go into those little hip dips. So again, push away with that bottom elbow so you're not falling into your neck and shoulders. Inhale down. Exhale, lift as high as you can. Inhale down. Press away from the floor. We've got 6 of these. So you're already halfway there. Last 2. Last one. Lift, push away, and come back down. Take a quick breather. You know that you've got star. Here we go. It's only 10 seconds. You have 2 options for whichever way you prefer to have your legs. Inhale. Exhale. Let's lift and hold. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Glutes are working. 2 and 1. And come back down and rest. Turn. Have a seat on your mat. Okay, I want you to find your sit bones to start, just because that's a really good thing to come back to. We're not going to worry about it too much today, but see if you can find them. So if you're really tucked under in your pelvis, excuse me, you can sit yourself up on a rolled towel or a yoga block. I should have said that in the beginning of class. Or you can bend your knees if that's preferred. You just want to try to find your ribs over your hips. So again, you feel really heavy in your sitting bones. Okay. Right from here, we are going to lift our right leg up, and you are going to reach for that leg. You're going to hold it just for a second so that you find as upright of a position as you can, okay, while keeping that leg lifted. Now, on an exhale, I want you to find that good upward pelvic floor draw. It's got to be pretty big for what you're about to do, so find that. Just like we did lying down in the beginning. Now let go of your leg. Don't let the leg move. Keep that left leg anchored. Roll down about 3/4 of the way. Keep reaching both legs, pulling back through your core as much as you can. And let's sit right back up. And let's grab that leg again. See if you can walk it up any higher. You're going to keep it there, but try to sit up as much as you can. Now your whole body's working. Let go of that leg slowly. Roll back down. Don't let it drop. Again, just about 3/4 of the way. And let's sit right back up using your core for this movement. Can you reach your ankles now? Come back up to that stacked spine, not reaching through your neck and shoulders, and roll back down one more time. And come all the way back up to seated. Return that right leg, and you know it. We have to do all of the same thing on that left side. So the first one probably doesn't feel great, but then did you feel better as we went along? Sit up nice and tall. That leg should get higher and higher. Get out of the neck. Everything is in that powerhouse core. Flex that right foot. Point the toes of that left leg. Roll down. You are using your whole body, but we are focusing on our core to do the movement. You go as low as you can control, and you peel right back up, trying to find those sit bones again, and you walk back up on that leg. Here we go. The leg should be lifted a little higher. Roll back down. And come all the way back up to seated. Grab onto your ankles if you can. Last one here. Roll back down. I can barely talk. Your core has to work so hard. And come all the way back up to seated. Don't lose that leg yet. I know your hip flexors are working, and relax that leg. Take a nice deep breath in. We are going to roll back into a teaser. So find your sit bones to start if you can. On an exhale, roll back with both legs, but you're going to start to pull those heels in, sliding them across the floor. Bend your knees, and you're going to sit up into this teaser position. I want you to pause for a second. Do you feel equal weight between both of your sit bones? Okay, now stay here. Your core is on fire. We are working hard. Sit up as tall as you can without losing your balance point position so that your tailbone is slightly tucked the entire time. Okay, now if you can, you're going to go into marching. If it's hard enough to hold it, I want you to hold this position and just work deep into it for as long as you can. Okay, so you're going to lower one leg down at a time. If you're more advanced, let's go for both legs. Here we go. Everyone's just going to keep moving, or holding, I should say. When your legs go down, I want you to notice if you are losing that inward pull of your core and you're seeing doming or an outward pressure of your abdominals, you're not utilizing your core the way that we want you to, and you're losing your intra-abdominal pressure. You're creating intra-abdominal pressure in a negative way. So I want you to then take it down a notch if you need to, okay? Let's just do 2 more. Last one. Everybody rest. That is definitely a killer. Take a few seconds because we're going to go into another killer here, but I'm going to show you a couple of options quickly. So beginners, you're going to be here with knees bent into this little windmill back and forth. Advanced, we are doing hip circles, so if you're doing that, you should know what they are. You are going to sit up as much as you can onto your sit bones. Reach your arms back behind you. You're going to press up through your back, okay? Now, you can come down to your elbows if you really need to, if that does bother your wrists, right? You're going to bend the knees in, extend your legs straight up towards the ceiling if you are doing the full hip circle. Otherwise, you're doing these windshield wipers. Maybe I called them windmills. Sorry. Straight legs. You're going to draw a circle in one direction. Sit up as tall as you can. Go the opposite direction. Squeeze those legs together. 2 more. And last one. Everybody rest. Very, very nice. All right. I said we were going to do a high bridge. You are going to lay down for that high bridge. And you know I'll always give you some options here. So we're going to start the same way that we did. So find your hip distance apart. On an exhale, curl into the bridge, utilizing your exhale to get there, not initially squeezing the glutes. Okay. Feel those glutes on fire. Feel all toes connected to the floor. I need that first, okay? Press your back into the mat. So it's not you like pushing your hands down hard. You feel those shoulder blades working, okay? You push them down. You think widen the lats. Now, from here, I want you to press up and away using your back and your ribs. Hold that position. Move your legs wherever you need to. You are going to lift one leg straight up if you can. If it's hard enough to just hold that high bridge, I want you to hold that. Now you're going to keep the foot, you're going to flex your foot, drop the leg down. You're going to point the toes, reach it up. Flex the foot and reach, point to lift. Two more. Flex to reach, point to lift. One more. Flex to reach, point to lift. Return that leg. On an exhale, let's switch. We're going to flex and point and flex. We're going to stay lifted and point. Two more. Last one. Return that leg. Keep that bridge. You're out of your neck. On an exhale, you're going to roll down with control because you worked so hard on those. From here, we are going to roll up. So you're going to extend your legs straight out. You're going to squeeze those inner thighs together. Squeeze your glutes enough that you feel them lift off the mat. Reach your arms over your chest. On an exhale, find as much of a curl as you can. I cannot talk to you as I do this. You're going to reach through the arms and the legs. Try to find as little momentum and shoulders as possible as you do that. It is all in the core. We're going to finish here with a really hard exercise. We're going to do a reverse plank. So you're either going to be down on your elbows or up on your hands. It is up to you. Inhale, prepare, and exhale, press your feet down hard, push into the elbows or the palms. Lift up, hold, keep the chin slightly tucked. Lift as high as you can. Try to lift and squeeze the shoulder blades together, no matter what, in either position. Hold 4, 3, 2, and 1, and come back down. Now, if that was difficult enough, you're going to practice that again, just working on that strength. If you can progress it, we are going to go into a single leg lift. So here we go. Inhale, prepare. And exhale, lift and hold. Chin is tucked. Squeeze those shoulder blades. Lift one leg only as high as you can. Try to minimize the drop of the hips and the control to return the leg. Last one, and come back down and rest. And give yourselves a hand because you worked really hard, especially at the end there. I hope your hips feel better after this, and I will see you next time.